Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I am your host Doug here with your video blog for January 10th, 2015. I have a great blog planned for you today as we will look at the NFL Divisional playoff matchups. We'll have your New York sports update as the Jets could have a GM and a coach that will be coming in. They have two front runners. We'll start back up the state of, and we'll be looking at the state of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But right now, I want to get to another debate that's been going on and will be going on for the next couple of months. Okay, I think we all know that fans nowadays are more informed. Okay, there's more ways to watch sports, more ways to just take in sports. A lot of sports blogs. ESPN has expanded. There's 31 local sports channels. So fans are more informed overall. But one thing I looked at yesterday scared me about the upcoming NFL draft. So an ESPN poll was out, and it asked if Jameis Winston in the NFL would be a Pro Bowler, a starter, a backup, or a bust. And the overriding mantra from this was that Jameis Winston will be a bust in the NFL. I thought maybe Florida, he would be a starter. I thought maybe Alabama, his hometown, he would be a starter. I thought maybe in Tennessee, where he could be going, people would think he would be a starter. But no, the entire map was yellow, and yellow was labeled as bust, okay? So I think we get back into the debate of Marcus Mariota versus Jameis Winston, okay? And yesterday on The Herd with Colin Cowherd, I was listening to quarterback guru George Whitfield, okay? And Whitfield always breaks down quarterbacks, a big-time quarterback guy. And I thought it was very interesting what he said about both Mariota and Jameis, okay? First, about Marcus Mariota, he said he is a lot like Kaepernick with more strength and speed. This guy can run a 4.3 40, okay? And he said that of all the quarterbacks in this draft class, Marcus Mariota throws the best ball, okay? And that is the first time I think we've heard this. We have not heard anything about Marcus Mariota being a big-time thrower in the NFL, and we've really only heard about how Jameis Winston has those pro potentials and can get it done. And what he said about Jameis, basically, is that despite Marcus Mariota has the best can throw the best ball, Jameis can make all the NFL throws, but he has some sloppy mechanics. He referred to it, I believe, as a first baseman's throw, so he kind of has a funky mechanics, which I'm not going to get too hung up on funky mechanics. Phillip Rivers probably could be considered a Hall of Fame quarterback. He has funky mechanics. I'm not worried about that, but I just thought it was interesting the take that George Whitfield had on this, really saying that Marcus Mariota could be the better quarterback because he is a strong kid, and he's like a Kaepernick. More speed, though, so that's going to be something to watch as we continue our NFL draft coverage. All right, we've done the state of. This is a program where we come on and we talk about the state of something, okay? We talk about the state of a team, the state of a conference, the state of a division, the state of a player, okay? But today we're going to talk about the state of the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? This has been a wild week for this team. They've really started to show that they could struggle this year, okay? They're now 19-18, 6th place in the East, and they're starting to already make trades, okay? We saw them bring in Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith. Smith had 27 last night, so Smith played pretty well for them last night. Iman Shumpert will be back. He is going to defend that wing. And then with Anderson Varejao out, they go out and pick up Timofey Mozgov and see if this guy can be the guy to protect the rim for this team. I think the main issue right now is that Kevin Love is not happy. And I think what people are making a big deal about, which is not a big deal, is Kevin Love's numbers. Okay, I looked at Kevin Love's numbers today, and Kevin Love for his career is right around 19 points and 12 rebounds. Okay, so Kevin Love's a 19 and 12 guy. This year, on a team with more players and more guys that are going to get touches, he's averaging 17 and 10, okay? So he's not doing anything less than what he's done, but we're not seeing these 30-point games out of Kevin Love, okay? Kevin Love had a lot of 30, 18 games last year. He's just not putting those games out, okay? He's shooting very similar field goal percentage. He's shooting about 44%. He's a 45% shooter for his career. His three-point percentage is down, but he's never been a knockdown three-point shooter. And really, if you look at it, his defense has gotten better. His steals are up. His block percentage is up as well. So Kevin Love is playing better despite what people are saying about him, okay? I don't think he's happy. I think if this team struggles, there's a legitimate option that Kevin Love opts out, which it really wouldn't be an opt-out because he's just a free agent. Kevin Love will become a free agent next year, and he could find himself in Los Angeles if they decide to clear the decks. I think the other issue right now is LeBron James' health. I think LeBron has put a lot of minutes onto his body, and the minutes are starting to catch up with him, and he is starting to struggle to play at a high level. And he's going to be coming back in the next week, and we're going to see what this team can become. And ultimately, what I think this team can become is still a legitimate contender in the East because the East is so bad right now, okay? The East is down like it has been, okay? I don't think anybody in the East beats anybody in the West in the NBA Finals. I think whoever wins the West will win the NBA Finals. But what it's going to come down to is who gets out of the East. Chicago, Washington, Toronto, Atlanta are really your top 4 teams right now, and those teams are not great. None of these teams are great. A lot of them are unproven, and we're going to see what happens. But I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are okay for now, and with the additions of Shumpert and Timofey Mozgov, they could be a legitimate contender by the end of the year. All right, time for my divisional weekend football picks. I was 3-1 last week in the wild card round. I thought my Cincinnati Bengals would get it done, and they didn't. So let's get to the picks. My first pick, I'm picking against the spread, so pay attention to that. I'll give you my winners and my spreads as well. So Baltimore is at New England today. New England, a 7-point favorite coming in. I will take Baltimore plus the 7. I think Baltimore will be able to run the ball on New England. They play well against New England. If they can contain Gronk, they can stay in this game. But I think New England, Tom Brady drives late and wins it for the Patriots 31-27. In the late game tonight, we have Carolina versus Seattle. I think Seattle rolls Carolina. I think we forget that Carolina is a 7-8-1 team, a team that is not very good. I think Seattle's a -11. I will swallow the points. Seattle gets it done 35-17. An interesting game tomorrow, Dallas versus Green Bay. Green Bay's a 5.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Dallas plus the 5.5 to cover and upset. I think Dallas can run the ball. Murray's going to have a big game running. Romo is going to make enough throws to Dez Bryant and Williams. Dallas will get it done against Green Bay 31-28. Tony Romo rolls on. And finally, Indy versus Denver. Denver's a -7 at home. I think Denver wins by a touchdown. I think Denver's too good at running the ball and disguising stuff. I think Peyton Manning will be able to get it done. It's going to be warmer in Denver tomorrow. I will take Denver to win 34-27, matching up Brady Manning in the title game for the AFC and a rematch of Dallas and Seattle, which was a very good game in the NFC. Time for your New York sports update. The Jets have announced Mike Maganin, who is the director of college scouting for the Houston Texans, and Dan Quinn, the Seahawks defensive coordinator, are front runners right now for the GM and head coach positions of this team. Of course, they can talk to Maganin again and put him into place, which would be big, and Dan Quinn will come in likely after his season ends. Derek Fisher says of the Knicks, the players do not believe in the triangle. The Knicks are now 5-34, really struggling. They face the Hornets today. That game will tip right around 1 o'clock. And the Syracuse Orange are back at home tomorrow versus Florida State at 8. The Orange are 2-0 in ACC play, coming off a dismal win over a Georgia Tech team. Florida State is 1-1 in ACC play, losing to Notre Dame and beating Virginia Tech. Monday, we'll be back with divisional talk. We'll also talk national title game. Follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. You can comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend.